差不多1个了，收呀。
先救小孩，对，丢下去，丢下去。完了，
先救小孩，先救小孩。
冲马杆，冲马杆，哎，冲好杆，
不用怕，不用怕，不用怕，不用怕，
不用怕，不用怕。
这里是龙飞路隧道，隧道出隧道那个口。
Guizhou, China. July 15th, 2025. Heavy flooding has returned to Guizhou Province as of July 14th and 15th, bringing renewed disruption, rising water levels, and urgent emergency response across several districts. After a brief period of calmer weather earlier this month, continuous and intense rainfall over the past 48 hours has caused rivers to swell, drainage systems to back up, and streets to flood in both urban and rural areas. The rainfall, which began intensifying around 9th of July, quickly saturated already wet soil and pushed river levels dangerously close to the warning line in many parts of the province. Local meteorological stations reported well above average precipitation across multiple counties, particularly in Rongjiang, Xishui, and Zunyi, where the terrain's natural slopes tend to accelerate water accumulation in valleys and town centers. One of the most widely circulated scenes came from Rongjiang County, where a shopping mall became a symbol of the storm's intensity. Video clips showed rainwater gushing down indoor escalators, creating a torrent inside the building. Parking garages were flooded, and some residents returning to retrieve belongings found their vehicles completely submerged under brown floodwaters. Outside, major intersections turned into shallow lakes, cutting off access to small shops and trapping pedestrians on raised sidewalks. "I've lived here for over 20 years, said Mr. Li, a small business owner in Rongjiang. "We get heavy rain every summer, but this time, it just kept coming. The drains couldn't keep up, and within a few hours, our whole street was underwater." Authorities quickly mobilized response units, deploying rescue crews to low-lying areas and coordinating evacuations. In Xishui, inflatable rescue rafts navigated narrow alleyways, guiding families, including elderly residents and young children, to higher ground. Volunteers handed out dry clothing and hot meals at makeshift shelters set up in schools and community centers. Local officials reported that in some rural areas, evacuation warnings were sent out nearly an hour before roads became impassable, helping prevent further damage or distress. Meanwhile, minor landslides were reported in Guizhou's more mountainous southern counties, triggered by the saturated soil. In some locations, boulders and mud temporarily blocked roads and hiking paths, leaving a handful of small villages temporarily isolated until cleanup crews arrived. The Provincial Transport Authority dispatched additional workers to assess hillside risk zones and install temporary support structures where needed. The flooding also struck a blow to Guizhou's agricultural regions. Early reports suggest that hundreds of hectares of farmland have been affected by waterlogging. Fields of rice, corn, and leafy greens have been left soaking for days, raising concerns among local farmers about crop loss and delays in the growing season. The Provincial Agriculture Department has initiated surveys to calculate the impact and plans to roll out aid programs to assist with seed replacement and soil rehabilitation once the waters recede. Despite the challenges, officials emphasized that the situation remains manageable and largely under control. No long-term evacuations have been declared, and most floodwaters began receding by June 29th. Power and internet services, which were briefly interrupted in some townships, were restored quickly thanks to backup systems and coordinated repair efforts. In the province's capital, Guiyang, residents experienced heavy rain and traffic delays, but the city's improved drainage systems largely held up. Officials credit recent investments in flood infrastructure for preventing more serious urban flooding, although they acknowledge that some older neighborhoods still experienced pooling water and localized backups. Looking ahead, weather forecasts suggest continued rainfall through early July, though the intensity is expected to drop.